Hello! So Spiral Abyss 4.6 dropped a few days ago and it's the hardest Abyss we got in a while. At first, since I'm not the biggest fan of elemental checks because it restricts the teams you can use, my reception to this version of Spiral Abyss was pretty meh. But the more I played, the more tips and tricks I found to bypass some of the elemental checks, making it actually pretty fun to play and doable with more team variety. This is by no means a Spiral Abyss guide. I just compiled the most useful and fun tips I found for this Spiral Abyss 4.6, and hopefully some of them will help you either clear faster or be able to use more different teams to beat it. So let's get right into it. So on the first half of Chamber 1 we have the 3 Ken keys, and what you could do to group them is use one of these stacks. So first of all, you could use Kazuha with his tap E skill. So you put Kazuha in the first slot, you tap E, and then you swap to your characters, and usually the Galloping Frost will stay next to the 2 others. What you can also do is run to the left of the Ken keys this way, and it will also manipulate the enemy AI, and the Galloping Frost will stay packed with the other ones. You can also brute force your way and just rush in, but just know that most of the time the Frost guy will go further, and if you don't mind retrying, then it's fine, you can do that also. For the second half we have the 2 Kairagis at first. Nothing much to say about them, you just need to kill them at the same time to not waste too much time. Then we're gonna have the Pyro Slingers, 2 of them with the Mirror Maiden. You can focus them first before going for the Maiden, and try to kill them before they get their Pyro Shield. Otherwise you have to bring some Hydro here. A small tip against them is that you can manipulate the way they backdash, and you just go straight in front of them and just wait a little bit and they will fall back. So you can do that. If you don't have groupers like Kazuha, you can use that trick. And then for the operatives, we have a Veteran Wind operative and a Veteran Frost operative. Try to focus the Veteran Wind operative because she's the stationary one. The other one always comes around you. And to beat them, you could use a fall damage trick, either by using Kazuha Hold E skill or using Jean. Actually, Jean is very clutch against them. And you can clear this chamber really easily thanks to her. Just make sure to have a Jean that is at least level 80. If the level of your character is 20 levels beneath this, so 75, below 75, I'm pretty sure you cannot pull them. So yeah, make sure to have a leveled up character if you want it to work. For the second chamber, first half we have Coppelius, who has a Cryo Shield in his different phases. To beat that, you either bring Pyro or Electro. Electro works really well. But also the trick that I found is that using an Uxia aligned character can get rid of the shield really easily. And this opens up a lot of team variety and a lot of team comps for the first part of this Abyss, which is really cool. For example, here I was able to run a Shao team with Furina without needing any other element. So yeah. For the second half we have the 3 Fatui Pyro agents at first. Nothing much to say about them, just burst them down the fastest you can. Then we have the 2 Eremites that appears. Try to focus the Gale Hunter instead of the Stone Enchanter. The Gale Hunter is the one that stays stationary. This guy tends to come next to you. If you have enough DPS before their summons appear, you can kill one of them. Usually I go for the Gale Hunter, but as soon as the summons are into play, focus them to put the 2 of them in the weakened state, and you can kill them right after. Then the Abyss Lectors appear, and you can use many ways to group them. You can use Jean E, you can use Kazuha Hold E, and so on, right? There's many ways to group them. You can also go into one of like the far corners of the chamber on the left or the right, and you just wait for them to by themselves group up, and when they're packed you can attack them. When they get into their shield phase, a lot of elements work. You can use hydro, you can use pyro. I found pyro to be the most useful. And there's like some tricks you can use. For example, you can put Bennett on a Thundering Fury set if you're really struggling to clear this in time. Bennett on the Thundering Fury is crazy, especially with a Kazuha, where you combine the two of them. You can Bennett ult, then Kazuha hold E and plunge, ult with Kazuha to infuse his ultimate with Pyro, and then you go ham with Bennett with his E, because Thundering Fury lowers the cooldown and you basically just can spam E's on them with Bennett and get rid of the shield super quickly. For Chamber 3, we have on the first half multiple waves of enemies. Nothing much to say about this. You don't really need any grouper here, for example. The enemies are already packed. The only tip that I can give you is just to focus them on the sides and not go in between them. If you go, for example, between the two Fatui skirmishers, they will start to be too far from each other, so you cannot really pack them. Just go on the side and yeah, bust the enemies down. For the second half, we have the Baptiste, who has a Pyro, then a Cryo, then an Electro Shield. If you bring the right element, you can get rid of them. Like for example, National is really good here because Pyro can get rid of the Cryo and the Electro Shield, and Hydro can get rid of the Pyro Shield at first. Just make sure to align your bursts right before the shield comes down, because the weak state that he is in after you break one of the shields is really short, so be aware of that. But also when you break the 3 shields, he has a longer weak state which yeah, can be used to burst him down. And just make sure to get your ults ready for that. One of the most fun tricks I found about this guy is actually you can beat this chamber without bringing Pyro. And one of the most fun runs I had was to use Ayaka freeze team here on the second half of this abyss. And when you see these types of enemies, you can understand that Ayaka is pretty good here, but there was like this cryo shield that you had nothing to beat. But actually with Kazuha you can. If you have Kazuha, you can let him get hit with a Pyro and keep the infusion on him. You can swap back to another character to get rid of the Pyro shield, and then as soon as the Cryo shield comes in, you can use Kazuha Burst and Kazuha Plunge to get rid of the Cryo shield. So yeah, pretty fun trick that I hope can help one of you out there. And that's it for the best tips I came across during my playtesting of the Abyss 4.6. If you think I missed a valuable one, feel free to share with us in the comment section. I'm always looking forward to learn more when it comes to this type of stuff. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The next video will be either a recap of my artifact farming for Arlecchino or my pulls and testing of Baizu. I'm not really sure yet. We will see. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!